In this video, we'll solve a couple of equations for some different letters. We have the equation a equals b plus n minus 1 times d. We want to solve this for d. So we want to isolate this d. So we're going to get everything over to the other side. Let's begin by subtracting b from each side. And that leaves you with a minus b equals quantity n minus 1 times d. And now we're going to divide by this quantity n minus 1 so that we get d by itself. Divide each side by n minus 1. And I'll divide this entire left-hand side by n minus 1. That will cancel out the n minus 1 on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, we are just left with a minus b over n minus 1. And that equals d. That's all we can do with that. And that is solving for d. Let's take a look at this other one. We have some fractions. So what we can do here is add these together first. So I'll show that. We're going to get a common denominator. The common denominator between c and d is c times d. So I'm going to multiply this by d over d. And I'm going to multiply this by c over c. And that will give me 1 over f equals d over c plus, that is d over cd, that is, because I've got this multiplied by d up here, plus c over cd. Now we have a common denominator, and so what I'm going to do is add those, and I get 1 over f equals d plus c over cd. And now I'm going to take kind of a quick shortcut here. I'm just going to flip both of these over. If 1 over f equals d plus c over cd, then f over 1 equals, and instead of writing d plus c, I'm going to write this c plus d just to put that in order. In this video, we'll take a couple of equations and we'll solve for a specific letter in each equation. In the first one, we have a equals b plus the quantity n minus 1 times d. And we want to solve this for d. Well, the way to solve for d is to isolate this. So we'll take the steps to get d all by itself. The first thing we're going to do is get rid of this b. So we'll add the opposite. We have a positive b, so we'll subtract b from each side. Let's show that, minus b, and that leaves you with a minus b equals this quantity n minus 1 times d. Now we want to divide each side by n minus 1 because n minus 1 is being multiplied by d. So let's show that. N minus 1, we're dividing both the numerator and the dividing the right and the left side by n minus 1, and the numerator and denominator cancel out, and we're left with just 1d on the right hand side, and on the left hand side we have a minus b over n minus 1. That equals d. And that's as far as we can go with that one. On this next one, solve for f. Well, we have a bunch of fractions here. One way to clear the fractions is to multiply through by the least common denominator. And in this case, the least common denominator is f times c times d. And I'll put it in alphabetical order, c times d times f. So I'm going to multiply everything by f times c times d. Now what happens when I multiply it by the f, or by the 1 over f, is that the f in the denominator and the f in the numerator will cancel out, and I'm left with just c times d. So I'm going to write that, cd equals, and now if we multiply it by the next term here, the C's will cancel, and I'm left with just FD. I better put this in alphabetical order. I'm going to write DF because the C's cancel. So I'll write equals DF plus, we have one more thing to multiply, times the D. Now the D's will cancel, and we'll be left with just C times F. So I'll write that, C times F. Okay, now we have to get these F's by themselves. We're solving for F. So we're going to factor out the F. I'll show that in this step. C times D equals this F being factored out, and then I'm going to write D plus C. Okay, now this looks familiar to what we did over here. We've got F multiplied by something, and so I'm going to divide each side by that D plus C. Each side. We can't cancel this C and this D because the D and C are not being multiplied down at the bottom, so this is how it's going to be left at the end. I'll write C, D. I am going to write this in alphabetical order, C plus D. C times D over C plus D equals F. And that's how we solve that one for that letter F. I hope that helps.